bienvenidos a la vecindad.
We are las malandrinas, breaking generational trauma through chisme y chistes. Yes.
Hi.
Hello. I'm like, hello.
Today we are discussing, drum roll,
On the fucking can.
on the tahin.
Oh, I didn't add tahin.
I said it. We have to redo it.
No, we're good. I think we're good. Just do it out of frame. So. We're not getting sponsored for this shit.
Wait, did I say it? No.
No, you didn't.
We're discussing religion today.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you take it away.
Me?
Yeah, because you're saying there's layers to this. What are these layers you speak of?
Okay. Well, maybe not specifically layers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sure there are out there, but at least I don't know how to explain
Well,
it.
however they came to mind for us.
Yeah. Snack.
Religion,
Mhm.
gives culty behavior vibes.
Very culty.
Yeah.
Very
So,
culty.
mini brief history. We were raised Catholic.
Mm-hmm.
And we probably stopped.
I feel like
fucking with that.
I stopped. For me, I think it was mostly because you know how so you know how they say that God answers your prayers y que no sé qué tanto y whatever, right?
Yeah.
I feel like to me, it got to a certain point where my prayers were unanswered. So I was like, is there even someone fucking listening to me at this point?
Mm-hmm.
So that's when I started questioning shit.
And how old were you when that started?
Oh, I was a kid. I was I think I was still in elementary. I was still in elementary school. I was questioning this and then.
Critters.
Yeah. I was curious since then. But I think I stopped in middle school. In middle school. Yeah, I think it had to have been in middle school. Yeah, in middle school, because then freshman year me dio cosa. Like, I didn't want to do my confirmation. I didn't want to do it. And thankfully, my mom forgot to sign me up for my second year.
The confirmation?
The confirmation. And so, even if I were to have gone back the year after that, after the year that she forgot to sign me up, I would have had to do it twice again. So that first year that I would have done it wouldn't have counted.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck that. Because that's what happened my, did that happen? See, I can't fucking remember. Just too much shit happened. Yeah, too much shit happened
maybe,
at the time.
At least in terms of layers, like how to break it down, how we were conditioned to believe that we were supposed to go about it. Es con el bautizo primero.
Oh God.
And we're bebés.
So we had no
For
choice.
us,
We had no choice then.
Then it's the first communion. For us, it's around elementary school.
Like
when it was
5th grade or
introduced to
something.
us, yeah, como por 2 años or so.
2 years.
And then it was the confirmation in high school.
Freshman year.
So, and that was 2 years también, you said?
2 years.
I don't remember it 2 years for me, but that's because it's been a while, so no me acuerdo. But, yeah, so like baptism, obviously, I didn't have a choice, was a bebé. And then communion, but kid, 2 years. And then, 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 2 years school was like I would go, and I would see that like some of my friends at the time would go, so I'm like, okay, I'll go. But it was like when I started questioning, like, why am I doing this? In between probably like the communion and the confirmation, like by the time I made it to confirmation, like, why am I still going? But then I was also already getting like this culty mindset, but I think it was more like curiosity that there was like a community element happening, and I was seeing like some other classmates there, and and I'm like, okay, I could have these conversations now with people my age. But then I'd ask, like, I think even since elementary, I'd be asking, like, what is the purpose of this? Why am I doing this? Why am I going to this additional classes outside of school?
Fucking sucked, yeah.
And it's like, the answer to that was always como minimal if an answer was given. If not, it's kind of like annoyance. Like, why are you asking me this? Like, the fuck? You just have to do it. So it's like, you don't even want to answer to that. Like, you don't want to continue asking because you're already shut down somehow. But I just remember being in like those classes, and I was so done because I feel like I'm not curious enough to ask like whatever the material was introduced there. Like, oh, this and this happened with all these names que te dan of people, and I'm just like, why do I need to know this stuff? But the closest why response was, oh, porque te vas a casar un día.
Yes!
Like, you're gonna get married.
Oh
you're
my
gonna
God.
want to do that through church, and if you don't do it,
you're going to hell.
not even, I don't know if they took it to that extent, but it was just like, no te vas a poder casar. And to me, it's like, I'm a teenager. Like, am I supposed to be thinking about marriage in my teen years?
No.
That's like very far ahead. And so it was already more like maybe 14, 15, right? Like freshman, sophomore year. Yeah, I start questioning everything then. It's like, am I gonna get married, or am I eventually gonna go to school, or am I gonna not go to school, but then what do I do? It's like all these questionings, but also like wanting to detach myself from whatever the fuck was presented to me with this marriage in mind. But it's like, that's the mindset of, oh, te vas a casar. It's like, what if I don't want to get married?
Like, te vas a casar, you're gonna get married, and then after marriage, that's when you're gonna have your kids, and la la la. But it's like, most of you motherfuckers had kids and then got married. Maybe.
Yeah.
Like, you're over here teaching us that, oh, you know, you find the person or whatever, right? Your husband or whatever the fuck. You get married, then you have your kids, and you're a stay-at-home mom. You can't pursue anything else because you're gonna be busy taking care of the kids, cleaning the house, serving your husband hand and fucking foot.
It's a very como copy and paste mindset that was embedded in us.
Very much.
And not allowing room for us to think outside the box. So.
And you're shamed upon too if you don't have kids. Because that's what you were made for.
Well, probably if you don't get married también, but I feel like the marriage part one está poquito más como flexible, just because of people's history when it comes to actually being married or not, like having kids out of wedlock type of thing. Que ni dan esa opinión to be like, yeah, well, they should be married. It's like, I don't know.
At least for me, that I saw, right, on my mom's side at least, if you had kids and you didn't get married first, because no one was actually getting married first before they had
that's
fucking
kind of what
kids,
I was saying,
right?
Yeah.
You'd be like, pues como la boda? Literally had just given birth and shit, like.
Yeah, it's like,
why are you asking me
these
this?
types of comments that just like no tienen nada que ver now.
I know.
It's like, now you brought a whole child into this situation.
Labor like 24 hours and shit.
Want to bring up marriage, like shouldn't that have came first? So at some point it's like cuando ya están en esa situación, it sounds like hypocrisy. Like why are we trying to bring this up now? Mm-hmm. So because there's been some of that, or there's been infidelity, whether there was marriage or not. It's
God.
Like, exactly. Like we're trying to bring God now into this. Like the damage has been done, and there's no accountability. And they could be like, oh, pues estoy yendo a misa los domingos, and my husband comes or whatever.
It's like or he's still an abuser.
Yeah, the man
at the end of the day,
going and yeah.
At the end of the day, he's still
pecadores, pero they're like
bien santos todavía because they go to church.
Because they go to church. Because as a family, they go together.
Yeah.
They have a whole like Sunday way of existing.
They don't confess, but they go to church.
No más por decir que fueron, and this happy family unit when it's just
picture perfect.
Yeah, it's an illusion.
Very much an illusion. How sad is that?
That is so sad. Yeah.
Like, es que vamos a misa. Oh, es que vamos a ir a misa mañana. Que no sé qué, el domingo. Hold on. The fucking plane that wants to be an asshole. No, take your time. Take your time. Put your plane.
Okay. I was 16 and pregnant. Mm-hmm. So to me, it's like, ya pa que casarme, or why even consider that? Like, I already have a kid. And to this day, I can say I am not married. Nor is that something that I'll ever consider, like, a church thing. I don't fucking care. But I do want to say that for a long time, it's not so. I want to say at some point there probably was pressure, a little bit of pressure placed on me to have these beliefs that, oh, I probably should get married, or feeling como I guess bad, like if I didn't go through with something like create something like that, like be in a committed relationship where it led to marriage, so my parents could
be in attendance,
see and be a part of it, and then also thinking like, oh, they're gonna pass away, like they're elders, they're not gonna be a part of any of this. So those thoughts have been in my mind, but it's like I'm finally done with those thoughts. I was able to detach from that shit, because it's not things for me to carry. Like, I've seen it all unravel. The infidelity, the lack of respect, the no accountability within my parents who are married, that did do this whole like church and whatever other stuff.
The whole shebang of
the
it
whole
all.
of it, yeah. Fucking probably 50 years ago, when they had more maybe pressure as a society que se ponían entre ellos. But then I'm like, yeah, no, like it looks cute, like thanks for showing me your pictures, but I know the dynamic and I don't want to have that, and I don't think I need to go to a church for somebody to be like, okay, now you'll be happily ever after. When again, it's an illusion. So I consider marriage in different ways, like spiritually and things like that. And once I started to consider things spiritually, it's like I was able to dissect all the other ways I saw just religion itself. And then I could finally start seeing like, oh, this is just some culty shit, and people are programmed to believe that you're worshipping someone or something outside of you. It's an external thing, and I think that's disrespectful as fuck to your being as a person, as an individual, as an entity, as whatever the fuck we are. Like, everything you need is within you. You don't need to externally see shit. So when it has that culty behavior attached to it, that religions do have, it's like once you dissect that, for the most part, the people, and especially the people that are all about like very religion in your face, like that's the first fucking sentences they have with you when they meet you. They're over here like in God or whatever the fuck they believe in.
Y gracias a Dios que andamos aquí. Like, no, shut the fuck up.
And it's like, okay, gracias a Dios, but you were just over here fucking chismosa not that long ago, like jibber jabbering about shit, like
is that not a sin, man?
Yeah, so a lot of it comes from ego. People. It's like if your ego is leading the way, then you don't need none of that around you. But I did mention the whole like my way of thinking, just because I know that there's people who still are very attached to what parents or guardians or elders in their lives, or people who have influence in their lives, continue to believe that way of thinking. Y se sienten mal that they feel like they have to go a certain way because all these other people are saying so. So in terms of like guidance, like that does suck if you're being guided by someone who's just like this religious, but you could see the fakeness. You could see how they're not following what they're saying. It's in the actions. And that is not something to be guided by.
Yeah. Taking it back to hold on, there's sirens now. No pues, no dejan pues en paz aquí.
No dejan hablar a gusto.
No. La verdad que no.
Ya se cayó.
Or el vecino.
No, they were even louder.
No. No, pues te digo pues.
Wild then.
They're going crazy outside. Ay.
No, luego van a ser los vecinos también.
¿Creen que es sábado o viernes o qué?
Pónganse a trabajar. Just kidding. Anywho.
Yeah. So, taking it back to like the picture perfect family or whatever, right? Because they go to church and
yes,
que no sé qué, right? That was my family. You know, that was definitely my family. Because we would go to church as a whole unit and very much I don't know how to explain that. It was more so looking like the perfect family, I guess, in a way, because everyone went to church and everyone was, you know, looking their best going to church, and then afterwards, you know, hang out with the other family, like the rest of the family and stuff like that, like, que no sé qué tanto, right? But it's like, there's still abuse happening at home, and it's not just like my house, right? My household, like everyone else is around. It's like, okay, you're going to church and all that, and your whole family's going to church, your whole immediate family, you, your kids, your husband, whatever. But he's still abusing you at home. He's still abusing your kids at home. Not only you, but he also your kids. He's still an alcoholic. He's still cheating on you. Oh, but because you went to church that one time, that 1 week, all is forgiven.
Clean slate.
Yeah. All is forgiven.
Disturbing.
In the eyes of the Lord, it's all fine.
El mero mero.
Because you went to church for 30 minutes to an hour, the most, right? An hour the most, minimum 30.
To hear la palabra.
To hear la palabra of the day or whatever the fuck. All is forgiven. And then straight after hanging out with the family and all that, the abuse continues. Mentally, physically, emotionally. He's still cheating on you. You're fucking probably getting diseases because the fucker won't protect himself or you. Having kids,
so sad.
having kids out of wedlock that aren't yours. In some cases, that people have to raise. I couldn't imagine that. I really could not. I don't think I have, like, especially my mindset now, I would not have the strength to do that. I don't blame the kids. I really don't. I don't blame them at all.
¿De qué?
Like, the ones that are out of wedlock or whatever, right? I don't blame them. They're innocent in this. You know?
Yeah, they don't have anything to be blamed for.
They don't have anything to be blamed, but some people blame them, which is weird. We're weird people? Like that, yeah. But it's like, they don't have, you know, they're not to blame.
Well,
it's literally your husband.
It's easy to blame others if you don't want to hold yourself accountable. And you're doing in this marriage or family unit. I was thinking when you were saying that it's sad to believe that, you know, there's these family dynamics where they're like, you know, it's unfolded, whatever the fuck happens in between a relationship, right?
Yeah.
But then as a, como forgiveness, it's like, oh, pues vamos a ir a misa. Vamos a ir, like, empezar counseling with the priest or whatever.
If even that.
If
that
was
very rare.
But I know that there's como...
That was an option, yeah.
I know that now there's, like, workshops or something offered for, like, married couples and stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh. Just get the divorce at that point. He's still gonna cheat on you.
Yeah,
he's
like
still gonna put his hands on you.
Counseling or something.
Or your kids, yeah.
It's just, at some point it becomes so exhausting that it's really unforgivable. You could drop counseling or fucking priest, whatever.
Get counseling for your kids, 100%.
I wouldn't say through religion, though.
No. Oh, hell no! No, I mean professionally, not the... No. Never to the church. Hell no!
That's an option? Like, no.
No. Never. Hell no.
I do, and also I mentioned the culty behavior because when... I feel like, okay, let's say for example, you're still religious, right? And I'm spiritual. Just as an example, like you're a religious person, I'm spiritual. Even if I wasn't spiritual, just I'm someone that's not religious. Trying to have this conversation, it'd be like a pushback from someone who's religious. And even if it's not like verbally said, because I've noticed, just observed, I've either had verbally discussion of like, oh, well, you should think this way and that way about religion because blah, 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 and it's been around for X amount of years. Or the pushback could be just like, se siente en la energía that there's like a holdback. Like, what are you, almost like a defense, almost like, I don't know, just like, you, other person that doesn't believe in my ways, you're wrong. Almost like judgy.
100%.
That it's like, what does that say about you as a person in these beliefs? Que se supone que you're supposed to be understanding of others. You're not supposed to be judging in the end. So then why does that come naturally per your religion, your religious beliefs?
Like, I know religious people that are deep into their religion, right? And they're the most friendly people ever. Never even, like, caused offense to anyone. They acknowledge that, you know, they're religious and others don't have to be. And they also don't really push that into other... They don't push their beliefs onto others, you know? Yeah. I'm in fucking car. like the nicest people ever. But then I've also seen the other side of that, of people that are deep into their religion, and they're fucking assholes. Make that make sense. Your Bible and the verses and all that shit, they say, you know, love thy neighbor and whatever the fuck, right? And, you know, Jesus loves all and la 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 la. But you're a hateful fucking bitch. But you praise the Lord y que no sé qué tanto. Make that make sense.
Yeah, so the behavior is very questionable. Because I even question the niceness and the kindness.
I can see through it.
I'm like, are you nice or are you kind? And it's totally different. Because, but then I could also dissect that and be like, is this person this way? But not so much because of their beliefs.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah. I don't know. I don't fucking know. I don't really fuck with people as it is. I'm not around people as much. But mainly when we were thinking about this topic, I was thinking about like the youth we worked with. And they're at an age where they are considering what they were taught. To have these beliefs, to whether to continue them or not. But sometimes, like I noticed, some would continue just because that gave them a sense of peace. Just within the healing journey they were in, they gave them a sense of peace, so they continued. So I'm like, I'm not gonna shut them down. Like, no, you shouldn't think that way. You know?
Don't do it!
But at least, if that's gonna give them some sense of peace in comparison to what they've been through, then it's like, okay, you know, you'll be on your journey, but if this is what makes sense to you right now, well then at least you're somewhere. But like that in comparison to us in our upbringing, it's like, no, we were already questioning shit. Like, we were already trying to detach. Because we knew there was something up. And also we didn't have a lot of clarity that we were seeking at the time. And then eventually for me, like, I had to make these decisions because I'm a parent. So I'm like, I don't really want to introduce my kids to that. I fell into that choice of like baptizing them because of my parents or the other parents being like, hey, are you gonna baptize your kids? Rah, rah, rah.
When is that happening?
Yeah, and that type of pressure, and I was like, let's just fucking get it over with. But ultimately, like, I don't want to. I don't want to go through any of that. I don't want to be at a church. And then later on, it's the elementary years, they're understanding more, like, I'm not trying to put that pressure on my kids. It's like, this is what it is. You want to or not, almost as a choice. One, because estaba like sus friends around that. So I'm like, okay, well, that's what your friends are doing. Like, I don't know if you want to be a part of that. Then I was like, nah. So I'm like, okay, we're good then. Like,
for me, I remember that sucking because, hold on, I'm fucking playing again. Espérate. I'm like, espérate.
We'll be back after this brief commercial break. Okay, thanks.
For me, I remember it sucking, especially during not confirmation. What the fuck is that? First communion. First communion, it sucked because during that time I was doing sports. I was doing soccer at that time, and I remember I had to miss soccer practice because I had to go to those fucking classes.
Yeah.
And I remember it being on a Wednesday, and I would miss practice, and I hated missing practice because I felt like I would be like and then on Saturday we'd have a game.
Yes, it was needed.
So it was needed because, again, when I'm a child, I know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
And two, I feel like I wouldn't get that, I guess, knowledge that we would have learned during that practice. Because I remember the coach, like, explaining shit and whatever the case may be, right? And so I remember thinking, like, I don't really have to do this. Or at times I would go to the classes and then fucking go to practice.
Oh, you do both.
Yeah. And I'd be fucking tired at the end of it.
Pues por eso nunca te miraba.
Por eso.
No estabas.
Por eso. Yeah, I did soccer for 3 years straight. It was nice. Yeah. I liked it. I like doing sports, pero crecí and then I became an addict. Alcohol. Yeah.
Pues es que no estabas con el compa Chuy animal. Dejaste que el diablo te agarrara y te agarró.
Oh, no, I'm not an addict, an alcoholic. But I guess that's kind of the same thing. Because it's addiction to alcohol.
Son cosas del demonio.
Like, you don't have that face.
I do indeed have that angelic face. Thank you for recognizing.
Minds of sin, apparently.
Diabolical.
Oh. Wow.
No, I'm just saying that at the time, you know, obviously el compa Chuy was hitting you up on Wednesdays. It was like, cáele a las clases.
Cáele a las clases.
But
yes.
the demon, you know, tienes uno en cada lado, and the demon was like, rah, 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 go to soccer. Yeah.
Hey?
It was, what do you do? You're a kid. Yeah,
what do you do indeed?
It's complicated.
Yes, as a little, 10-year-old.
Decisions.
Yeah. I hated that shit so much.
Yeah.
And I remember for my confirmation, they'd give us these fucking cards. Like, in confirmation, they gave us these cards. And you know how they would go around with the baskets to collect money? Like, first of all, why are you collecting money from me?
When they're tax-free.
Exactly.
I know.
Like, the fuck? Oh my god.
Scammers.
Literally, that's a literal scam. Like, what the fuck? Like, here I am. Like, I can't even imagine that shit. Like, during that time, like, going to work, busting your ass, going to church to, worship your fucking, your Lord or whatever, and then they're like, put some money in this basket.
Pay up.
Yeah, pay up. Pay up for being a believer.
You want us to clear your sins? Pay up. And of course they pay up. Some are giving fucking $20.
I've seen hundreds before.
Yeah, así han de tener el pinche conciencia.
Like, what the fuck is in your...
Like, I went to church, les di $100, I'm good for the week.
That's how you know it's a cult.
Yeah.
$100?
Yeah.
Every week? That's $400 right there in a month. That's wild.
Yeah. And
yeah.
there's no taxes. They don't pay anything. And they could be fucking assholes, which they are. And they could take advantage of kids, which they do.
They do. Yeah. Yeah, I cannot imagine that. Yeah, and then I would remember just like... Oh yeah, so back to the card thing, right? So, it's fucking bullshit. But to prove that you fucking went to church, you would have to take that card, and when they would come by with the baskets, you'd put your card in there, and then you'd get that card back at class.
That is doing the most.
And you would have to go to church that same day that you went to class. So literally, fíjate, you'd go to church at 5, and then the shit would end like, 5:50 or something, and then you'd go to fucking class at 6. Because you know how it was like right across from the church? Yeah. You'd be at class at 6, and then like sometime in the middle of class, like the what are those called? Like the helpers or whatever. I don't know. Like
los que están en blanco.
Los que están en blanco, the ones in white. They'd come to each classroom and bring the fucking cards, because in the card it was your first name, your last name, the priest in training that would fucking guide the class or whatever, and then they'd have them like in like stacks, right? And then that's when they would give them back to you. And I think they would mark that shit down to like how many they went to out of that whole school year or whatever, and it's like, yeah. No. Thankfully, it was the first and last time I ever did that shit. Like, grateful that my mom didn't, like, that she forgot. She forgot to sign me up for the second year.
Yeah. And
I heard that shit was $90.
Like the annual thing?
The annual. $90. I think
remember.
now it's more.
Oh, it probably is way more now.
Yeah. I think for your communion, for your first communion is like 60. At least back then it was 60. But once you get older, it's more.
I just want to say, side note, for people who are like signing up their kids still for these communions and baptisms.
Wild, first of all.
And then having a party, like huge fucking pachanga, because my kid did. But you know damn well you're gonna buy a bunch of fucking alcohol. That's like priority number one. Like enough with the fakeness. No, and then don't use your child as an excuse for the fact that you want to go all out and have a party. Just have a fucking party. You're alive. There you go. You don't need permission. Like, you don't need to use your kids, especially the baptism ones. The babies, the toddlers.
The babies all passed out in the room.
Yeah, ellas están traumados de la pinche agua.
Yeah, ya andan con la pinche botella shots y todo
like,
eso.
what you did baptized? Like, okay, just fucking party. Like, who cares?
Mind you, that baby didn't do shit but be born and fucking have water poured over them.
Yeah. So they won't be animals anymore. So they won't be animals according to church.
No.
Ridiculous behavior. It's embarrassing at this point. 2025, grow the fuck up.
That's wild.
I know. Todo el pinche dinero that they invest into. Pero cuando tengan que ir a la escuela, o necesiten una casa, o necesiten un carro, los kids, all of a sudden ya no hay money, ya no hay fucking padrinos y madrinas, ya no hay compadres, ya para eso no hay nadie.
That's another thing I'm gonna fucking mention. The first and last time you see your padrinos, your fucking godparents, is the day that you get fucking baptized, the day of your first communion, or the day of your confirmation. That's like the first and last time you'll fucking meet them and see them ever again.
I'm guilty of that.
Like, for example, my first, my baptism. I haven't heard from that bitch in how long?
Centuries.
Like, and mind you, this is a tia of mine.
Yeah.
Like, bitch, where are you?
I mean, I could be your madrina at this point. Me miras más a mí.
You are my madrina.
¿De qué? This is your 15. That's different.
You're still a madrina.
You haven't called me madrina though, so I think until you give me the title yourself.
You haven't called me goddaughter either, so.
Look, goddaughter.
Nah, now you want to start. Now you want to start.
Yeah, because vamos a empezar tú with the collections. On Sundays vas a decir, where's my money? Es mi tía, eres mi
No, pues,
madrina.
it's been how many years? I'm not
No, porque yo le voy a decir a tu mom. Yo le digo a tu mom, ella es mi madrina too.
Holy shit.
I guess it's my confirmation. So.
It's been 9 years since I turned 15. 9 years?
According to calculations. ¿Cuándo me has dicho ni?
I think I did.
Tía,
I did.
Special occasion, ni tía. You're just like, Esme.
You just call me Marimar too. You just say my name too.
Sobrina mía.
Nah, shut the fuck up.
It's too late.
No, the only time you ever call me sobrina or niece is when we're recording.
Ni sentía, tío. It's important to let the people know.
Or if we're talking to someone, you're like, yeah, this is my niece. Yeah. But other than that,
we suck at titles.
we really do. But yeah, that's like the only time you ever see them, if even that.
En las fotos que tomaron de
Oh my god!
Those are important. The ones that live in the albums. I'm just collecting dust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say though, every couple years though, I do see my padrino, of my first communion. I will see them once in a while. At least then. But for my fucking baptism, sepa donde quedó ella. And the craziest thing is, some people, like their padrinos or whatever, right? Their godparents will be like random ass people. Mm-hmm. Like your parents won't even fucking remember where they met them.
Damn.
Like it could
just
probably
needed someone.
I know. Like I've heard stories of people's parents that have gotten someone to be the godparents of their kids, right? Mm-hmm. And it'll be literally someone from like a party. Like they went to a party, se emborracharon, they're like, oh, ¿quieres ser el padre?
Wow.
Yeah. And then after that big day, never heard from again. Exactly. And after that day, never heard from again. You know how wild that is?
Shout out to my godson though. I do have one, but I'm one of those madrinas that's not around.
Which one? Who?
I'm not gonna say the name.
No, give me a hint.
I'll tell you later.
Okay. I didn't know you had a godkid. Fuck.
Yeah. But I was kind of like questioning it because I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna be around like that, like for real. I already wasn't around as much, so there's nothing against the kid. It's just
that's another thing too. Mm-hmm. You in our religion, right? You have to have all three done. You have to do your baptism, your first communion, and your confirmation. All three have to be done to, one, get married, and two, so you can be a godparent. All three have to be done.
Yeah, so I think like that probably helped me in this case, that I have that stuff, but I'm not out here just promoting myself like, hey, let me be a madrina for something. It just kind of happened, and then I was like, I guess. I didn't know how to say no, but like, it's just like, you know, like, you know, you're not going to have this type of connection with this person continuing on, especially if there's weirdo behavior. This is relatives. Like, the theme of us breaking generational traumas and stuff is the fact that we don't get along with family that much. So yeah, when it comes to relatives, it's like, I'm gonna put a mirror and be like, question yourself on your behavior and not just me. I don't just react out of nowhere because I have nothing better to do with my life. Like, no, I sense weirdo energy, people pulling away from me or behaving some type of way in front of me, and I don't like that shit, so I'll stay the fuck. I will remove myself. I don't care. So yeah, that's the case here. Like, I don't need to be around that energy when I'm not wanted, or the fakeness when I am around. Like, oh my god, how have you been? It's like, no. You don't care. So let's not be fake. Let's not do small talk. None of that.
Yeah, I think that's another thing that has saved me so far because I'm not confirmed, right? I haven't done my confirmation. So, technicality in the eyes of the Lord, I can't be a godparent. The only loophole is like a quinceañera, right?
Yeah.
Like, I can't be the main godparent, but I can be the godparent of like the shoes or the fucking pillow.
That was gonna aim at me.
Do you remember what you got me?
I want to say shoes, but now I feel like the way you're looking at me, maybe your crown.
Maybe
the pillow. I don't remember. I was there.
Wild. I had to look at the camera for that. Very wild. I literally remember shopping for the tiara and everything. That's wild. No, because that's so fucked up.
9 years ago, and I was deep in survival mode. And then I released a lot of that, and your king said dancing and being fucking drunk. Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry because I thought it was the shoes.
No, you don't get to cry. I know.
For real.
No, I don't think I had another enough for my shoes. I remember who got me the jewelry.
So then did I
like
just
the earrings,
your
the bracelet.
Shoes?
We didn't go shopping for my shoes.
I just remember getting to church.
And you already fucked up, I know.
I could be thinking about my shoes at this point. Changing shoes scenario, and did you change shoes?
I didn't.
You know how they have that like transition?
That whole ceremony, I said I didn't want that.
Oh, okay.
Because that's kind of weird.
You think so?
At least in my eyes. I don't know. I didn't like that. I'm like, why are you gonna be in the middle of this fucking salon changing my shoes in front of everyone?
Is it like your parents changing your shoes?
It's like your dad or something.
Okay, I didn't do that, so.
Yeah. Like,
did that come after? Has that always been a thing? I don't know. Teen says.
I don't know, but one, I knew I didn't want that. I knew at some point I was gonna go from my flats to my heels, and we ended up forgetting my heels at the house, so I never changed into my heels. So I
never wore them.
I never wore them, but I was comfortable that day because I was just wearing flats.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it worked out in the end. It sucked. Yeah, and no se iban a mirar anyway.
Mm-hmm. Why did it suck?
Because I didn't get to use them.
Oh. Did you use them después?
No.
They just stayed there.
They just stayed there. I might still have them somewhere in my
closet. Were they the color of your dress?
They were silver with like
okay.
Like the zipper, because it had a zipper part.
Mm-hmm.
Had like not glitter, but it was kind of like sparkles type thing.
Mm.
They were really nice. So I was kind of bummed that I didn't get to wear them because I was all over that place that day, and everyone was rushing to get to church and everything. And then from church, I had to go to the beach because we were gonna go do the photo shoot.
It's about to be 9 years, huh? Because you had it in the summer.
In July. Yeah, so it's gonna be nice. The quinceañera part,
mm-hmm.
the party part,
yeah,
9 years. But age-wise, it's already been 9 years.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, straight from church, photo shoot outside the church. No, photo shoot as the ceremony ended. Inside the church, then I had a fucking, ¿cómo se dice? I had to take pictures with everyone in the fucking church. I think I even took a picture with the priest. I don't know. I will say I did like the people that sang that day.
That sang
that day. Yeah, it was pretty nice. I'm not gonna lie. I remember going like, because they were like, quinceañera, think there's in the video part, because I got a video. I think you see me going like in my dress, vibing, and I was all the way at the front, like in front of the priest already, and I remember I had that song stuck in my head for so long, just that one part though, like you know, but anyway, yeah, I had to take pictures with like everybody up in there, right? And then leaving the church, in front of the church, and then from there straight to the beach. Had a photo shoot with my court, or however the fuck, how do you say that? I think it is that. My court or whatever. So my chambelanes, my damas. We had a whole photo shoot at the beach, and then from the beach straight to the salon, and then it's the entrada and everything, and then straight to the fucking dance.
Pues no wonder duraron un chingo para llegar. I was probably there for like an hour or so, and I probably ya había comido, ya había tomado, and I was probably just waiting to dance.
Yeah, because the banda didn't get there until maybe like an hour after I got there or something like that. Yeah, because I got there and then I did the fucking routine. The dance routine. And then...
Right away?
Yeah.
That was kind of fast then. You had a busy day.
I had learned 4 fucking dance routines. Yes.
Damn.
I had like 2-3 months to learn all that shit. Mind you, I'm not a fucking choreographed dancer. No one fucking was. I was trying to fucking not fail high school and shit, and they wanted me to learn all these fucking moves. No wonder I started drinking. I'm just kidding.
Hey, that's why.
That's the reason. It wasn't trauma. No, yeah, and then to do dances, and then it's getting me pissed again. But anyway, yeah. Did I have a blast? Yeah. But did I dance my ass off that night? Hell yeah. The entrada with the banda. Oh my goodness.
Beautiful.
Couldn't have done it better, you know? No. But, oh my gosh. Take me back to that night just for the fucking banda. It was so fun.
Did you have a muñeca?
Hell no.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I never liked dolls growing up. I found them creepy. Like Barbies and all that shit. Creepy as fuck to me. I feel like the eyes would always like follow you and shit.
Did you have a big cake?
Yeah.
Like one of those with the little fountains and stuff?
Okay, no, tampoco.
Oh.
I had one
More
that was
modern?
like... Yeah.
Because mine had the little...
Oh, perdón.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like mine... I tried to do mine less traditional. For sure. For example, even to the color of my dress.
I was going to say, yeah.
During that time, everyone was using pink. Just pink. I don't know. And mind you, during that time, my favorite color was like pink. And I saw that like all my older cousins had done pink, like different shades of pink and shit. And I'm like, I don't want that. My favorite color is pink, but I don't want that. You know, at the time, I don't like pink like that anymore. But I was like, I don't want that. I'm like, I don't want, like, no offense to them. Maybe offense. I don't give a fuck at this point. I'm like, I don't want to be basic. Don't want to be basic.
Yeah.
And so when we went to go check out dresses, the Tiffany blue caught my eye, and I was like, ooh, I think I'm gonna do that. And then, mind you, I didn't really like silver either, but I'm like, silver would go pretty good with this Tiffany blue. Even my shoes, like on the bottom, Tiffany blue, and they were silver. Yeah.
There's so much more options now.
Oh yeah. Now there's more options, thankfully.
And creativity wise, like people have gotten more creative with it.
If I were to ever do like a 31 or something, my dress would probably be black. Oh, can you imagine that?
You don't have to. It's in 6 years. Yeah. We're gonna start preparations now, actually.
We need to do yours first.
No.
So
like
when?
COVID happened when I was 30 and I wanted to have a treintañera. I just turned 35. Que pinche hueva to do anything. So maybe for my 40th, which is in 5 years, I'll do something.
In 4 years?
In 5 years. I just turned 35. So
oh shit, I'm sorry.
More.
I'm sorry.
It's just because you can see the canas right
no.
now. And you're like, oh my
I
God,
don't see canas.
They're right here.
What the fuck is it? You're lying to me right now.
It's a whole like crown of canas.
Shut
Yeah, cause them, whatever.
I'm literally wearing my glasses right now.
Pero estás hasta allá, and the way the light is right
no,
now.
ni que nada.
But my ancestors were like, you can rock these now, because they're not baby gray hairs anymore. Those would fall. Now they're like, let's make that shit solid.
Even you closer right now.
Look at it.
I literally don't see
They're right
anything.
here.
I swear straight up, I don't see anything.
No, es porque no quieres.
It's those freaking blonde highlights that you're seeing.
It's
Those
not but this, no. I'm gonna get close and I'm gonna show the people. No, I'm kidding.
Go for you.
But speaking of religion, quinceañeras do go with religion though.
They
because
do.
people are like, oh my God, let's get a church. And then the priests get mad because they're like, una quinceañera no más es de... It's not just a party.
It's a coming of age. Coming of age.
Tiene que ver un priest.
She's becoming a woman.
Yeah. Dumb.
It's like, I'm 15. I don't know what. What about that? Is a woman. Yeah, it's like, no. I'm still very... At the time, it's like, no, I'm still very much a child. You know?
Yeah.
And then I heard that... I heard somewhere that quinceañeras were based off, like... When they would... like, when they would do... Like, sell children off as, like, child brides. And that's why back then the dresses were white, because that's what it was. That's what the coming of age was. Because they would sell them off to get married. And I was like... And I was like, what the... I'm like, that's why the dresses were white then? Wild. But, wasn't your dress white?
It was off-white. But just even that comparison, like, 11 years apart, for you, you're saying que se miraba más like pink at the time. For me, it was all white. So to have something like off-white on the catalogs, that was like, oh my God, yes, give me another option. But that was the only option. It was off-white option. Unless, of course, we think outside the box and be like, let me just go buy this other colored dress and I'll wear that. But it's like a whole thing, a whole setup to go to this place and get a catalog and, you know, let's spend all this money on this fucking dress and the accessories. So the options I had were probably only 2 off-white options. And I went with one of them. So I was like, I don't want white.
Yeah. That's weird how that wasn't an option.
Yeah, and then your brother was my
Chambelán.
main chambelán, and he was wearing white. And then they always wanted us to take pictures together. It's like, bruh, it's about me, not him.
That's another thing I didn't want.
To have a main chambelán?
I didn't have a main chambelán. I'm like, hold on.
Time out.
Because I had to think about it.
Te van a dar más time to think.
Hey! Speaking of Tiffany blue, though, that's like Tiffany blue.
Oh, yeah.
Even the pen. Even your pen.
It's a pretty color.
¿Qué iba a decir? ¿Qué iba a decir?
Rewind the cassette. They distracted us.
What was I saying? Shit.
It'll come.
Ay.
Something about
Oh!
the dress.
That's something that I didn't want. I didn't want to have a main chambelán with me because I wanted to be different. I didn't want to, like I said, I didn't want to be basic. So for my damas, I had chambelanes for them. So I had, how many did I have? Hold on. Fuck.
7? No, probably less.
6? Hold on.
5.
Shit.
4?
I think I did have 5.
5 damas?
Wait, let me count the boys. So I had 5 and I had 5. Okay. So I had 10 in total. Yeah, I don't know what it was. I wanted to be different. So I was like, okay, my damas will have the chambelanes, right? And then when my mom had asked me, she's like, okay, who do you want, like, for you?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like,
What? You're recounting?
yeah, hold on. I had 6 and 6.
Oh. That's so big.
What the fuck is that, 12?
Mm-hmm. That's a lot of people.
Holy fuck, okay.
And you just didn't have a main chambelán.
Yeah, I didn't have a main chambelán because I'm over here thinking, one, it's my day.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to share it with anyone because I'm going to be at the front, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, it's my day. I want that day to be about me because it is about me. And I'm not trying to share it with anyone. Like, the fuck? You know? So, I didn't have one. I said, I'm not going with tradition.
Yeah.
I went against a lot of tradition that day.
Very Aquarius coded.
Aquarius, yes. Yeah, because I didn't have the ceremony with the doll. I didn't have the ceremony of the shoe exchange. Again, the chambelán. What else? Oh, well, the dress was not the color that everyone was going with. Basic ass pink.
Or plain white.
Or plain white. But during that time, I don't think white was in anymore. I think it
because there was more colored options.
But it was just, or at least for me that I remember, it was just shades, like different shades of pink. Oh. Like I guess that's what it branched out to. So it could be different than the white and the other shades of white. Yeah, I just did not want anything to be. Oh, and the music.
What about it?
The music was very different too. It wasn't Tiempo de Vals and shit like that. It wasn't Mi Mariposa. It wasn't that one either. I didn't have the classic ones on there.
Oh, okay.
It was more so like, what was it like? Yeah, that was pop. It was pop. And then the surprise dance. It was classics, like Mexican classics, but I mean, that's still way off tradition because it was mostly the what's preserved for quinceañeras that were played then, and I was like, nah. Yeah. Very much different from everyone else.
Wait, I'm gonna check how long we've been talking.
Oh gosh.
An hour.
Okay, let's end it here then.
Yeah. Unless I'm getting tired of sitting down.
No, same. I don't know if you've seen me, but I've been trying to move around. Crack. For real. Okay.
Thank you for joining us.
I feel like we just jibber jabbered about.
But like, it's a nice transition. I think it's a nice transition because we started with something for us heavy because talking about religion is like barf. But then we made it more fun into like quince and memories about that, which do go together.
Very much, yeah.
Even though it doesn't have to be, just do what you gotta do. You don't need fucking bendiciones and shit.
You really don't. You really don't.
You're already bendecida if you needed that. There you go. Las malandrinas bendecid you.
Bendecid you.
That's a fucking word.
Damn.
Yeah.
Bendecid you. I'm just gonna look at you one day and be like, bendecid you.
Thanks. Just so random now.
Esme. Bendecid you. No, not bendecir. Bendecir you.
Oh, specifically. So I can know that's to me.
Just gibberish. Bendecir you.
Palabra. Se ha dicho. So any whoosies.
That's a new one.
I gotta get creative with my words.
Hey.
Yeah, thanks for being with us. I don't know what else you're gonna say.
You forgot something else.
On to you. What did I forget?
Be unapologetically you.
Oh yeah, be unapologetically.
No, yeah, that's
And don't get into these culty shits.
Yeah. Be very mindful of what
and intentional
you get into, especially Scientology. What? Who said that? Who the fuck said that?
These plants?
These fucking plants
speak.
talk.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Or the fucking Jehovah's. Those motherfuckers are banned from going into our driveway. Like, no. We've scared them off.
Yeah, we told them we worship the... That's funny. Anyway.
Yeah.
To scare them off, because what are they doing over here?
Famosos.
Anyway.
Yeah. So yeah, be unapologetically you.
Make sure to follow us on the Instagram and check us out on our other platforms as well.
Which other platforms?
Podbean.
Oh yeah, for the audio. If you
yeah.
We're not recording there anymore. We're recording here, but
we'll probably pop in there once in a while.
Yeah, we have over 100 episodes for the past 3 years, so
go check them out.
Yeah. Until then, we'll be toodaloo.
Yeah. Alright. Bye. You want to do the honors?
You're me.
You.
Rock, paper, scissors.
You're right there.
Fine. Ready?
Okay.